I've lost the intro. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Byzantian Brewscast with your host, Karen Checks, a Byzantian dev, if your tabletop role-playing needs. It's the start of real spring. The sakuras are finally in their pink bloom, and I am in a very good mood. How are you, my homebrewing friend?
I'm all right. I'm glad it's a Sunday. A long week. That's going on. But that's been good. I had a rugby game yesterday.
Nice.
Still looking for a win to keep us out of relegation. But
oh no,
2 more games.
Oof. Is it just like one of those frustrating moments? It's like we just need to win once, just once, and you'll be okay.
But, yeah. Oh, we can't lose another one now. I don't think.
Oh,
we lost by 1 point in the game of rugby, which is really weird.
That is, yeah.
The game, the crowd was good. Really full crowd. It's right on my end, but they need to win games. That and what I've been doing. So much homebrew this week, more than usual.
Nice. I actually managed to get a bit of non-homebrew of the week homebrewing done this week as well. So yes,
I went a bit mental with it. I didn't stop coming and just sort of kept writing it.
Sorry, I am a child. It didn't stop coming, did it?
I couldn't stop coming either.
Oh, I've been watching too much of the Avantis shorts. What is it? You all feel yourselves coming. Oh, excuse me. But that's good. It's good to have a week where you're like, okay, I actually have not only the motivation, but also the lack of writer's block to actually be able to do something.
Oh, it was a lot. Trying to find how much. Let's have a look. I actually email myself these so I can remember them all. So I started with something small that turned into something not so small. I should put one of them in actually. That was the main thing for Homer of the Week. That sort of kept on going. So first I thought I'll do some strictly blue kobolds because I think it should be different. And then I turned that into okay, why not give them a whole mini faction?
Oh,
that's about 20 pages maybe of that, a bit under. And then I thought, I've got another idea. I'll go back to that whole Celtic idea, and then I did another 18 pages of that, 15 pages of that.
And
then I thought, I've got another idea. There's the tribal warrior stat block, and it's a bit boring. Let's spruce that up. That turned into about another, 10 plus pages of stuff. And today I finished off. Because I thought I'd want to improve the skeleton and zombie stat block. Then I added a necromancer stat block and a not quite and a lesser version of the white stat block in there as well, and that's about 18 more pages. So now in theory, I can just generate a whole mini micro faction.
That is very cool, though.
Just saw a stat block that was really boring. I thought, I can improve this.
I feel like that's the way to do homebrew, though. It's find a good starting point and then just expand everything off of it and think about, okay, but let's say, for example, you make a black skeleton akin to the wither skeleton from Minecraft. So, okay, this is a regional unique skeleton. From what region? Why is that region there? What makes the skeletons different? And suddenly you have 8 different threads and a whole kingdom that trades potash or something.
I wasn't quite that specific, but I started with let's make the skeletons a little better at fighting, and then I put in a random trait table for basic. I thought, well, why doesn't necromancy have some sort of funny side effect.
Yeah.
They all have random traits. The zombies have random traits as well, so they're not just zombies. There might be a trick to them, so they are slightly different.
That reminds me of,
Furbolg,
and it's probably something I'm going to talk about in a future big project thing. Do you remember ages ago where I made the zombie variants?
Yes.
Which was kind of like loosely Resident Evil based.
Oh, yeah.
I get that kind of same thing of just like, yeah, zombies are kind of cool, but like in 5th edition, they're not really fleshed out that much. Pun not intended.
Interesting. So I thought I'd add something to them. What else have I been up to? Went up with a friend I haven't seen in a while on Friday. Had a board game night. They were a bit confused at the first, but they quite liked Pin Span.
Fit. Wait. Oh, I don't. Wait, no, it's on the Discord one. Hang on a minute. I've got this. Don't worry.
Oh.
Fish. There we go. Fish.
Yes, that one. Yeah. And what else was there? I've been doing free online courses, so I've been looking at IT and UI and UX stuff today. It's been like being back at university for 3 hours, so ready for not doing that right now. That's fine.
So this week, obviously I was out with you guys Thursday, and we did some Warwater. Fine, it feels so good to be back doing Warwater stuff.
Yes, you made a very close Waluigi.
Yes, and we found out that McBussiet is our current Royal Rumble champion. The other one was just a simulated war that we did afterwards. So we're gonna do like actual league stuff now, which is quite funny.
There's a tiny belt now.
Yeah. Speaking of, I actually bought 2 more, but unfortunately they were both duplicates somehow. I got both NXT belts. To be fair, I did actually want one of the NXT belts because, Mutant Madness GX, but I managed to get 2 the same, so I got 1 on each wrist, I guess.
Tell me they didn't have Mutant League ones.
No. I was hoping to get the Undisputed title belt, but that's the rare one. But like somehow this is a different set, and somehow I get 2 of the same common one, which is very weird. It's like, what are the chances?
Oh, it's a blind bag.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know.
I still might wind up getting more of them because they are actually like really comfortable to wear as far as wristbands go because they're very adjustable.
Okay, I can't say I've tried them, but take your word on that.
Yeah, and they do kind of look actually kind of cool. Not, and I might actually have to start watching WWE, but I believe they're coming to Birmingham on sometime in June.
Yeah, wrestling's kind of like comic books, though. Is that when you want to jump in is wherever?
Yeah,
because you are not gonna catch up.
Yeah.
From like the beginning, it just isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, but I got that. I got also picked up 2 because I've ordered these online from Smith's Toys because that was the best place to get them. I also ordered alongside that 2 different versions of Uno. These are not normal versions of Uno. There's Uno Flip, which has a card in the deck called a flip card, so you flip them over to the alternate side, which has 4 different colours. And a few different effects. So there's for example, there's a cyan +5. Specifically +5.
But only for cyan?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horribly confusing.
Oh, it gets funny. There's also Uno Show Them No Mercy, which has a wild draw 6, a wild draw 10, a skip everyone else's turn card, I think it was so there's a swap so you swap your current hand into the deck and draw the same number. No, wait, sorry. It's put as many of that color onto the pile as possible. There's the 7s and 0 rule actually printed on the cards. And there's, I think there's something. Yeah, there's a voting card as well.
Voting?
Yes. Let me check the rules. I think it was voting. There's a special. Oh yeah. Also, you can actually lose this one, not just win. If you have 25 or more cards in your hand, you lose.
Right.
Yeah. Wild color roulette. The next player chooses a color. After that, they must reveal cards one at a time from the draw pile until they get a card of that color. Wild cards don't count. They then add all the revealed cards to hands and lose their turn. Player then continues to the chosen color. So it's kind of like a voting thing in that. So you give the opponent the choice of the color to change, and they've got to hope that they draw the right color immediately.
This is just advanced Uno.
Yeah, but now imagine putting that and flip together. Chaos Uno, as I call it.
And then you turn the table around 90 degrees.
Yeah. No, that's dark symmetry, Uno.
Oh, right.
But I'm also going to add to this. I'm going to probably use like a proxy for it, something the same size, because I also have mini Uno.
This sounds like sort of a really good drinking game. Well, you don't tell anybody what the cards do.
So I'm going to put in some cards in the deck that basically say, now instead of drawing normally, so to make somebody draw from the mini deck instead of the main deck. Just for the added stupidity of having miniature cards in their hand. You can still play a mini card as if it were a big card, but the idea of them just having to have big and small cards in their hand is just brilliant.
Does that mean they have to start playing a second game?
No, because you can still place the mini card on the big deck, but the mini cards are various DreamWorks properties because I got them from the McDonald's drop. So there's the Megamind deck, etc.
Okay.
It's just the idea of having to play with different sized cards. What?
I don't think it'd be funny if you just make them play a second game of Uno than the first game of Uno.
Oh, like a sub game.
Yep.
Oh. It's like, okay, now you get because you played this card, now you get an extra turn on the mini board. You get to play it.
They'll probably have to win both games to win the game, though.
Yeah. Or it's like the winner of the sub game. If someone wins the sub game and they leave the sub game, they get to take an extra turn or something.
No, you can go. You can be forcibly re-entered into it.
Oh yeah, you can be forcibly re-entered into the sub game. Yeah.
It's like snakes.
Just the stupidest
the cycle of being stuck in Uno games.
Oh, should I try and buy like a really, really tiny version of Uno?
Oh yeah, the smallest version possible, I think.
So it's like, okay, so I'm inside a sub game, inside a weird variant of Uno. Yes.
Yep.
So I picked up that. I also picked up a 1975 Ford Bronco Hot Wheels, like £4. Was that one of the premium ones?
Okay.
I was hoping that they would send me the Lamborghini, but you didn't get an option of which one you got. So I just kind of hoped, and it was reduced it was like on clearance anyway, so I don't really mind terribly. And I've just had a parcel arrive. This is my AliExpress stuff, which should have. So they actually do stands for SD Gundams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I bought one of them, and I've got 30 German soldiers because they finally had the not quite Lego German soldiers in, because most places, understandably, the British and German soldiers tend to be the ones that sell out.
That made sense.
And I've got the annoying dog pin from Undertale as well, because I like the annoying dog. And a Blue Eyes White Dragon. That is much big. Okay, the Blue Eyes White Dragon pin is much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
So it's
how much bigger?
It's about the size of the center of my palm.
Ah.
I was expecting this tiny little thing, but it's like that's quite big. It's big enough that it has 2 pinpoints, one either side.
Oh. Okay.
That is very weird. Cool, but pretty weird. It's a hefty thing. It's actually all metal as well. So it's not like it's plastic with a metal sheen. I can't even get this dog open.
Did it not say the size of the pin when you bought it?
It probably sort of showed a scale, but because the dog pin is also very big. I was expecting like something really small. Actually, this is like a pleasant surprise, to be honest, because it does look quite nice. But it's just like, what? I don't know why I was thinking these things would be so small. What are you? Oh yeah, I've also got another mini golden dice set. Because you know I had that medallion thing at Christmas with the dice inside.
Oh yeah.
I wanted another set.
Okay.
So I've got another set, so now I can roll with advantage, etc. Bloody thing. Aw, they are very small, but I'm hoping not to lose them. And I've got a mini tank in here as well. Like a Lego tank. So yeah, okay. That arrived today as well. So a lot of this week has just been funny things. I bought some games as well. I think I showed you them on Thursday. So there should be some new streams out at some stage. Eventually, when I can be asked. So yeah, it's been a good week. Oh, and I was at a party yesterday. I got roped into a party. Okay. It was someone's retirement, weirdly enough. So an organization that my friend works for, my Christian friend, he went to this, and because he wasn't feeling too well, he's got an issue with his jaw. He wanted me to go with him as kind of explain why, basically be his voice and be his brain to an extent, because the medication was a bit getting to his head. So yeah, I went up there, and it was actually very lovely. It was very heartwarming, actually. And they had dinner. They had a meal afterwards. Apparently, they always have a meal after the services anyway. But they had a meal, and there was so much food. Like, we are talking like several courses worth of food, buffet-wise. Hot buffet, mind, hot buffet. Ooh. So there was rice two different ways. There were whole fried chicken breasts. There was some sort of green soup that I didn't partake in. Pasta two ways. One was a cheesy pasta with meat. One was tuna pasta salad. There was some sort of pastry that I didn't partake in because there was that much that I had to pick something. You know, I had to pick like 2 or 3 things that I've liked. And there was some sort of, I think it's like, you know, those pickles wrapped in leaves, that type of leaf thing. They had those, like stuffed pickles. They had like cut wrap sections. So they had like, you know, like I guess like favor wraps. So like, you know, you make a big wrap and you cut it into like small roundels. So there was that. There was veggie sticks and dip, which I actually had some cucumber sticks because I do like a good cucumber stick, and some hummus and some, sour cream and chive dip. There was an entire roast chicken.
On top of the other chicken breasts?
On top of the fried chicken breasts, yeah. On top of that, there was lamb kebab, like thick lamb kebab, thick style lamb kebab. I think there was. What else was there? There was something else. There was another thing that I can't remember what it was. And then there was dessert.
Okay.
Sorry, desserts. They had a whole box of premium cookies, like the really thick cookies. They had like, I think they're those weird like pastries with the cherry in the middle of them, the not bakewells, but you know the more phyllo style pastry ones. There were little brioche rolls with like a sweet butter and cheese in them.
Right.
And there was a whole entire there was little like sesame walnut crackers, which were weird. There were like dusted iced, you know, the dust icing, the frosted biscuits. Yep. And then there was an entire, so the cake was quite big, as it would be, the retirement cake. But it wasn't just a Victoria sponge, no, it was a Black Forest gatto in the middle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. So how many stone have you put on since then?
I dread to think. I had 4 plates of the main stuff because the rice that they do, I don't know what it is about Middle Eastern people, but they know how to do rice in a way that, like, stereotypical white people just don't. It was so good. I think I had a plate just of the tuna pasta alone.
Oh my god.
And then I had like 3 separate desserts because good stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, that's been my week. I've been pretty happy. And next week's going to be crazy too, because on Saturday I'm off to Longbridge.
What's happening in Longbridge?
So Longbridge is having their annual Pride of Longbridge show, which is all like classic British cars and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so me and my dad are taking the 214i because we bought one last year in a shed that was gathering dust and moss and all sorts. And we repaired it. Didn't need a full restoration. It was actually in pretty good condition. So we actually have something to take to the show.
That's nice. That'd be good.
Yeah.
You can always say you repaired it as well.
Yeah. I'm sure my dad will handle all of that stuff.
That's fair.
But yeah, so it's going to be...
Somebody will tell him that one part is wrong that's from a later model.
I doubt that highly, considering my dad is as close to Rover as somebody can get. He used to work as a Rover engineer. So if anyone knows what part goes on what specific model, it would be him.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I only went and built these things. Shut up.
And every time I just assume there's that one guy.
Yeah. Actually, I'm a historian. I'm a vehicular historian, and this piece is actually from a slightly later variation of the car. And my dad would just go like, "Oh yeah, so go and find one of those original pieces. Go on."
Yeah. I'll wait.
It's like, sure, but you know they only made like X amount of those, and according to blah 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 on the Rover, official documentation, only so many of them have survived. Well, how would you know that? Because I bloody built them, you idiot. Oh, my name's in the company ledger somewhere.
I'll get him to stop. Just say
yeah. So yeah, my next week's gonna be interesting. So, on that note, talking of interesting, let's move into the big project.
Yeah, I've had some choice with this one. Honestly, but I'm gonna put it on the Furbolgs because I think because we went back to the Celtic D&D thing. I really want to expand upon it.
Makes sense.
So the thing about the Furbolgs, they're not the D&D Furbolgs.
Oh.
So Furbolgs are really weird. One of those terms that D&D did its own spin on.
Yeah.
So in Irish mythology and most mythology, Furbolgs are sort of like giants or half giants with red hair.
Oh. That's okay.
I know. Try and get an image of one. They're quite cool. At least in the that Celtic mythology tabletop game, they were apparently slaves to the sea demons at one point. The name allegedly means men of the sack or men of the
Is
bag.
that because there's that one legend? I don't know where it's from. The one that there's that one from where the crossing the sea thing on the stones.
Yes.
Yeah, is that got anything to do with that, or it's like,
partially,
you want to cross my water, you little shit?
Kind of. I don't imagine you used the phrase "little shit," but yeah.
I don't know why my usual hag/witch voice is just angry old lady, which
Big Nigel and Marmalade.
Yeah. I am a sea witch. That's nice.
So apparently the name's references they used to do manual labor for the Fomori, which also show up in D&D as weird giants.
Yes.
But there's sea demons in.
Weirdly
Sea demons in
enough, Fomori do
Weird.
also appear in Magic the Gathering. I don't know what came first in that regard.
But I gotta assume it's the Celtic myth.
Yes. Well, kind of. In Magic, so historically, I think they were, but in Thunder Junction, there was a meteorite, which is effectively a space vault. Don't ask.
Right, okay.
One of the things that was in there was Lute, who is believed to be a descendant of the Fomori.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, okay. So they're weirdly like alien mythized, kind of. I mean, to be fair, the planar travel in Magic the Gathering makes no fucking sense half the time, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, this is weird. Looking back at the Furbolg,
Yeah.
like, let's have a look. What's the fourth one like? For at least 3 to 4 editions, they were close to the Celtic version of them.
Oh.
In 5th edition, they became weird cow people. I don't know. That's super weird.
Maybe there was a typo somewhere in R&D where they changed the I to a U. Oh, Furbolgs. Right. So
there might be a critical role influence. But this is really funny. 4 editions, they go pretty much unchanged. Then 5th edition comes along. I mean, not that I mind. I just think it's really funny how that lasted so long. Just suddenly, never mind. So I just they're kind of funny to write because usually when I try and write a faction and think of like, I'll surely they'd have some sort of range weapon.
The
Furbolg got written up as they aren't very good at making pretty things. They make very sturdy things, but they're not very nice to look at.
Okay.
So I interpreted that as they don't really use bows.
Right.
Not bad with slings and throwing spears, but they don't make anything like fanciful. They like their clubs and maces and axes. So they were kind of orky, but despite the fact that they do a whole lot of fighting, especially against the city, which is sort of like elves, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
The Fomori, they like law and order. They just happen to do a lot of fighting. I think it's a really weird way to look at them. It's like, okay, I'm on board. And I always want to get around to them because I like because there's a nice hotbed of ideas when the whole thing is insert fantastical race that was enslaved and is now no longer enslaved. That's always quite interesting to work to start with. So yeah, I sort of broke it down to 2 sorts of main types, and because there was no real ranged weapons talking about, I went with spearmen and clubmen.
Makes sense.
Apparently, in the tabletop game, they probably have really interesting spears. I don't know exactly how interesting, but they're very unique spears, apparently. So I incorporated some of that. I think the way I interpreted that was their spearmen are the only members of the tribe that fight all year round.
Okay.
I sort of go along with like the ancient world and early medieval idea of an army, where you could raise an army, but most of the time, the people recruited don't actually fight all year round.
Yeah.
They have other jobs.
Because when you have people that are specifically dedicated only to fighting, you get problems like the Knights, where it's like, so we just burnt down a village for practice because, hey, we're really out of practice and we need some fighting to do.
Or we are rich and have access to armor and weapons, as peasants don't.
Yeah.
They got money. No, I sort of interpret that as they tend to be act as bodyguards to the clan chiefs.
Makes sense.
They're not the most complex social structure, but then again, I just think they're a fun little faction. And researching them is always funny because there's so many different versions of Furbolgs.
Yeah.
That I couldn't find, apart from the, half giants with red hair, I couldn't find a unified version of what a Furbolg was.
What are you supposed to be, my boy?
Although now I'm looking at the new Furbolgs, I'm kind of disappointed they kind of switched it because the
they're
way
just...
they described is really funny.
Yeah.
The skirmish game book I've got says that they did this with Mori as well, where they said they could be between 6 feet tall or 12 feet tall, or sometimes larger. It's sort of like a massive variety of sizes they can show up in, but they're always big.
I'm actually a pygmy furbolg. I'm only like 5 foot tall.
That's a weird thing about the Fomori as well. That they can be like they call them the miniatures are out there as well. They're called like this Pucci, so Pucci. They're like goblin size. And you got like the adult Fomori, which are like people size, a bit bigger. Yeah. And then apparently they're not modeled, but there's like giant Fomori as well. So Celtic mythology is just full of giants. They're just sort of there, and I think that's kind of interesting. They may tackle another thing. What do you like about this particular area of study? There's only like 5 different peoples. They're called the five peoples of Ireland. So that's at least there's not that many.
There's only 5 different kinds of Irishmen. Probably just made several enemies by making that joke.
If the myth is remotely real, the Irish are the most recent ones, and the remaining. So that's fun. Also, if we run it as a D&D setting, which is eventually the plan, I know exactly what races are playable. But there's only 5 to choose from. That's quite nice, actually. might have to have some like random traits I can give out to make that feel a bit more whimsical. That's what I'm working on. Maybe working on this week.
So I've gone back to the Mirrodin stuff, and I've made 3 new spells and a new weapon based on the actual cards. So first we've got Ritual of Restoration, which, to the surprise of nobody, could be cast as a ritual. It's a first level transmutation for several classes, including the Paladin, which is a rare chance that they actually get a blooming spell.
Nice.
It's a 1 action, 30 feet, 1 target. VSM, it's more copper rod and a sliver of lead for components. People know what VSM means, I assume. And it says, don't need to say anything, repair a single non-unique item of common rarity or a mundane item. The item may be broken or missing parts. So it's not a case of, you need all the original parts. You don't actually need them. You basically need more than 50% of it, essentially. This spell may be upcast to 3rd level in order to target an uncommon item, 6th level for a rare item, or 9th level for an artifact, with or without the unique tag. So there's actually a way of magically repairing magic and mundane items. Because them breaking is actually a thing that can happen with semi-regularity in some settings.
And the mending spell doesn't repair the magic quality to stuff. So
and I figured it being a leveled spell that you could upcast to target high rarity things was a balanced way of doing that.
So it's somewhat limited.
Yeah.
Idea.
Yeah. And then next is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, Scrapyard Salvo. So it's a 2nd level enchantment for Warlock, Wizard, and Artificer. It's a 1 action, 100 feet attack. 1 or more targets roll separately for each shot. Components, VSM, a hand-sized chunk of igneous rock. Duration instantaneous. So it kind of works a bit like a magic missile style attack. You still have to roll the attack, but you sacrifice any number of items of common rarity or higher, so magic items. For each item consumed by this, make an attack roll against a creature you can see within 100 feet. Each shot deals 1d10 fire damage. So if you've got a whole bunch of excess stuff you're not using, you can yeet it at someone.
You can also see like NPCs using this with a load of magic rings.
Yeah. Because it could just be like, because it can count any common or higher magic items. So you could just have like, oh, it's a ring of glowing. Yeet. Just some guy with 10 rings of glowing. Fuck you.
Or they make the ring for that exact purpose.
Yeah, yeah. And I figured because it sacrifices items, I figured making it slightly lower level than Fireball was balanced. Because if you're going to the effort of getting a whole bunch of magical items for one reason or another, then you dealing that extra damage isn't necessarily busted.
No, that's a lot of investment to get that many magic items.
Yeah.
To then burn them all.
Yeah. And then the third spell is called Choking Fumes. This is a combat spell, as in a combat trick style spell. It's a third level necromancy for Warlock, Wizard, and Artificer. Casting time 1 action. Range 30 feet radius. Opponent's visual, spoken, and material lump of coal and tobacco leaf. I couldn't think of what the material component should be for this, so I just went cigarette smoke. Lol.
Is the lol part of the component?
No. Okay. But it's just kind of the idea of like, well, secondhand smoke is like a choking fume, right?
Could just use smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, but entities in the range that made an attack action this turn must make a Constitution save. On a failed save, they lose 1d8 plus 6 maximum health, and the same as current health. This is treated as a -1/-1 counter and may be proliferated. Because that's how the actual card kind of works. So it's a case of, it could affect your allies, so tell them ahead of time that you're planning to do this. So it's a kind of a punishing attackers type of spell. It's reactive.
With a radius that has, any radius spell that means you have to keep distance is funny.
Yeah, or a case of just like, either, in this case, not necessarily keep distance, it's more like, don't perform the trigger action. It's like, don't attack this turn, do something else, like defend, because I'm going to fuck them up.
Or it could have been a really awkward turn when no one does anything that turn.
Yeah, yeah. But like, oh, someone's doing a save against being charmed, etc. Somebody else is healing, and so, oh, none of my allies have attacked, and so this will only affect the enemy.
Just more thinking, what if you were into the wrong enemy that knows the spell?
Yeah.
Have an awkward truce for like a turn.
It's like a Mexican standoff. But I figured as well, because it's very much a utility type of spell for combat. It's like, the damage for a second level spell isn't a lot, but it will definitely matter against enemies that spam heal themselves.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, this is probably good against like vampires and certain types of oozes, etc. that just, or trolls that regenerate. It's like, yeah, you can't regenerate maximum health damage. Fuck you. It's also because it's maximum health damage. It's basically because it's, I think how maximum health damage works is that it's permanent unless you use a specific type of healing spell, isn't it? It's like you have to use
or a long rest is.
Yeah. So it's really hard to get out of. So it's like it's like so it can absolutely fuck up your own team if you're not careful. But it can also fuck up your opponent if they're not careful.
How would you rule spells that require a save? Not attack roll. Because there's not an attack roll.
It doesn't count, because that counts more as if they were using a spell. So, yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, because casting a spell doesn't count, because a treated spell casting is in magic terms as if you were casting an instant or sorcery in magic, which doesn't trigger this effect in the card game, so it wouldn't trigger it here.
Okay, that's fair. That's all right.
But the chances of you being in a party of all casters and them all casting on that turn, I felt is pretty low.
Yeah, that's a fair point. If you're all casting on the same turn, it must be fairly high level.
Yeah. Or, like, your party composition is fucked in other ways anyway, so it evens out.
Yeah, so that's the one area I do think 5th edition falls down, is there's not enough anti-magic or counter-magic.
Yeah.
Something so full of magic, you'd think there'd be an equal and opposite reaction to some of it.
Yeah, but the last item then is the Leonin Scimitar. This is a common magic item. It's almost like I plan to make a common magic item for the two things that care about magic items. It's a very basic thing. It's literally just a scimitar that does mostly normal scimitar things, except with one caveat. When it is wielded by a Leonin specifically, it is treated as a +1 magic weapon. Doesn't require attunement. Because it's that specific. So it's one of those so specific things. Like, yeah, it can be good if they're specifically a Leonin, which is something you could probably give to a Leonin enemy as a free. Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything for you, but it is a magic item.
That's all +1.
Yeah, well, for Leonins specifically.
Yeah.
I hope if you accidentally get reincarnated as a Leonin, that's an anime title right there, isn't it? That one time I got reincarnated as a Leonin so I could actually use this magic weapon I got.
I've never seen somebody actually play a Leonin.
Yeah. I forget what book they were introduced in. Wasn't Theros, was it?
Theros?
Was it Theros?
Might be Theros.
Because they're like a magic-specific type thing.
Yes, so that would track.
But yeah, I figured, because it was a common card that doesn't really do a whole lot in the card game, I was like, what do I do with it? It's like, well, why not I just make it race-specific?
I do like weird items like that are just really good if you're an exact species or race or whatever variant we're going with that.
So that's what I've done. I was gonna do another. I'm gonna next time do another few spells and stuff, and I'm gonna do a new spell and a few more creatures next week, including a counter spell. Because there isn't a low-level counter spell, so this is going to be a minor misstep, which I'm going to do as basically, the card says counter target spell with mana value 1 or less. So it's going to be a counter spell that can only counter level 1 spells or cantrips. So a level 1 counter spell that can only be used on level 1s or cantrips. Because weirdly, there isn't anything for that normally in counter spell. I mean, yes, counter spell can counter those, but it's like, it's a level 2 spell. It's a level 2 spell. So it's like, you
wouldn't waste it on a...
Yeah, it's wasting resources. Whereas a level 1 spell, if you give the utility of not being able to work on higher level spells, it doesn't feel quite so bad. And it's something that you could give to reward as a player, because it's a weird, unusual spell that you only really see on 1 or 2 planes.
Yeah.
It's like, here, you found a special version of Counterspell. Cherish it, because it might save your ass one day.
Or write it down and put it in a book and then sell it for stupid amounts of money and get royalties.
That's also true, yeah.
Why has no one ever tried that? It's covered a new spell.
To be fair, I think Mordekainen did exactly that, probably.
He just put Mordekainen in front of the spell.
Yeah.
I think he didn't know. He didn't invent any of them. He just found them. It's like, oh, I did it.
What about Tasha's hideous laughter?
Yeah.
Although I get the vibe with that Tasha didn't actually invent anything. It wasn't Tasha's invention. It was like some other wizard invented it and called it that because of how much they hate Tasha's laugh.
They just didn't like Tasha. Just put the spell.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like the way Tasha laughs. I'm gonna name this spell after them. Fuck you.
She had that one of those laughs that was also a snort.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it sounds like now, canonically.
It's probably even true. Stranger things are true in the D&D universe. But yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. It will be available in the Discord soon, hopefully, when I remember. So on to our next section, which is Critical Fumble.
Yes. This is a small one. No pun intended. I've been around Mitchell Flat earlier today, and he said, right, effectively, I don't want to bother getting a 40k army. I want to get the kill team. But great, love it, cool.
Yeah.
And he's got a box of intercessors for kill team, which is valid. It will work.
Yeah.
And this is where I discovered something about the latest version of the intercessor box.
Oh no.
It doesn't come with, sort of melee weapon options for your sergeant.
What?
I know. So it's the options available from the box, at least. The options you've got are bolt rifle, and bolt rifle with grenade launcher.
What? But
I know it's super weird. Not even a chainsaw in there.
that is very strange.
I know. I don't think just like 3 or 4 parts for like power sword, power fist, and more chainsaw or something.
Yeah, like how hard is it to just?
They've been putting it in boxes for a long time. I don't know why they've decided that. Nah, we don't.
Nah, you don't need these anymore. No one plays with melee unless you're.
But looking at kill team apparently uses it a lot because it's short range. But looking at the actual kill teams for the latest edition of the game, and it's that thing of it's weirdly specific. Again, here's the annoying part: your sergeant,
yeah,
you can have the bolt rifle, but also you can have the option for a chainsword, a power fist, a power weapon, or a thunder hammer, none of which appear in the box.
What?
Which is
that's so dumb.
And even then, going off the rest of the box, the only things you can really when you got the only real options you have are the intercessor gunner and the intercessor warrior, which is the basic one.
Yeah.
Which is ignoring, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 other different potential, units you could put in a kill team to make them feel distinct. But I guess sod that. Who needs options for a squad leader, I guess.
Yeah.
And just yesterday I heard they were ramping up prices again on a few products, so good to know that.
It mystifies me. It truly does mystify me. Well, it's like, you know what we need to do during like a global cost of living, well, mostly UK, but you know what we need to do in a cost of living crisis? Increase the price of our models.
Put less parts in.
Yeah. Even though the book says you have these options that you now can't use.
Do you want a thunder hammer on your sergeant? Nah, I can't do that.
It's like, do they expect us to have to go to like Forge World or something just for bits?
Oh god.
Or are they going to do like issue us parts pack or whatever of here's the bits you need for these things? Yeah.
Upgrade sprue. Yeah, but they used to put them in the box. It's like, you remember? Yeah, I don't remember doing that with the old Incessors kit, and it was fine.
Makes no blooming sense whatsoever. So, my critical fumble is also, weirdly enough, Games Workshop. Well, more Hatchet Printworks than Games Workshop. And that is that clearly they didn't print enough copies of issues 2 and 3, because I can't find them. It could be scalpers, but it could also be like... Maybe they just underestimated how many copies that they were going to need to produce. I don't know. But I can't seem to find them, and that makes me sad.
It's funny if have you tried like local shops?
I think I might have to start looking around at sort of local newspaper shops,
weirdly enough, found mine not in Games Workshop. I found that in my local Tesco down the road.
Like a big Tesco or
like Tesco Extra.
Oh wow!
Yeah. They might be there.
Well, I'll have to go hunting at some stage. Yeah, because I really wanted that Skaven stuff. Just some free lads.
You're getting 2 characters for $2.99.
Yeah.
It's crazy good value. And they're nice models as well, but the engineer's a little cooler looking.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was hoping for that. Another thing that was kind of a critical fumble is, and I was thinking about this past couple of weeks, is Magic has some more Magic stuff has leaked from, I think it's the Strixhaven set, and they've put reserved list / banned cards strapped on as a part of other cards. If that makes any sense. So, in technical terms, you can play Ancestral Recall in Standard when it comes out. You know the one that just lets you draw 3 cards for 1 mana?
Oh.
AKA Pot of Greed?
That sounds very familiar to...
Yeah, they've slapped it on a creature. Kind of. So it's something like, when this creature enters, it's like a 4 or 5 mana creature, bearing in mind that in most games you're not going to be casting it, you're just going to be putting it to play, probably. When it enters or attacks, it becomes prepared. Prepared means you can cast the spell that's attached to it, and then it becomes unprepared. So you can now cast Ancestral Recall again. Yeah. And there's a few like that are like with ridiculous broken spells, including a green one that has Channel. Also a banned card because it was part of I want to say an FTK combo.
Right.
Granted, in this specific situation, because of the stipulations of the creature and the requirements to cast it, I don't think you can FTK with it. But even so, even just putting Channel on anything seems like a bad idea.
Yep, they're not disagreeing with that.
There's a few others that are like pretty good stuff as well, but they seem to be a bit more balanced. The mechanic seems interesting. It's just that, well, it seems like there's various ways of breaking the individual cards attached to them, as well as the mechanic as a whole. Because if you can combo somehow preparing and unpreparing something, you could cast infinite spells. Which doesn't seem particularly balanced.
I can see that causing a few problems.
Yeah. And again, because of the weird leak cycle of things, because I think there was 1 or 2 things leaked from potentially Reality Shift. We know that we might be getting alternate color planeswalkers, and because of this fact, I am getting increasingly confused as to where we're at with things Magic wise.
Yeah.
Am I getting old, or is it just like, or is this just really confusing? I don't know.
Which 5 sets are coming out next month?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. Like, I don't know if these leaks or whatever were planned leaks or whatever, but it still just feels like if they're leaks, Wizards get better control of your blinking trade secrets, my dude. If they're not, Wizards, please give us a bloody break from this perpetual hype nonsense. Please.
Too many cards in the card game.
Yeah. It's too much all at once is the problem.
Yeah, the release schedule's rubbish. No one can figure out what the meta is if they keep releasing stuff before it's time to age.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you've just figured out what the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff do? Too late. We're already on to the next set. And it gets worse because it gets even more confusing because the new Strixhaven set has a new token type, except it's not a new token type, except it is a new token type, except it's not. So in first Strixhaven, there was a token creature called a pest. So 1/1 that says when it dies, you gain a life. Okay, simple enough. Black-green little guy does a thing. Now, there is something that makes pests, but they're not the same. because of one crucial detail. They have the exact same type line and the exact same stats as the other pest, except it's when they attack, you gain 1 life. That's not going to be confusing in the slightest.
No.
Because you know that when players could do shorthand stuff, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a 1/1 pest. Which one?
I mean, if you've got a pest token, you might as well use the ones you've already got.
Yeah.
Like
only you might get confused because you might mistake one pest for a different pest.
That's the wrong black-green pest token.
Exactly. Because their effect text is different. If they had a different stat and effect text, let's say they were like a 2/1 or something, wouldn't be quite so bad. Because at least then you could get away with them having a different effect text, because at least there's something very obvious about them that is different.
Yeah, that seems like yes. You think they just forgot?
Yeah. Well, no, because they both. So the original pest type also appears in the set. In the commander deck specifically. So there's a new card that works with the old pest system as well in the same technically release.
Okay, so what? I'm not following why there's 2 different versions of the same mechanic here.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed pests or gave a new pest type for that. I think because the original pest effect was quite underwhelming, maybe. So they gave them a different ability, but also because the old ability is still a thing in Commander, they were like, okay, we probably should make something that works with the old ability because there are strategies that involve the old ability type. I guess. Still no less confusing, mind you.
Don't get too attached, because in the next month there'll be more cards. So
yeah.
There'll be two new token types then by then.
I know. I just pine for the old days where a 1/1 bird was a 1/1 bird with flying, and that was it.
That makes sense to even if you don't know Magic.
If you ask me, I don't think tokens should have effects, like in general, unless it's like a really special token like the Marit Lage or something, which only one thing makes or whatever.
Yeah. I thought they were literally just used to flood your table.
Yeah, or to provide a tribal bonus to your deck, like birds. It's like, oh, a bird died, and since it's but I don't care because it's a bird token, but it does buff my birds because of this other card I have. Or like, they're sacrifice fodder or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're expendable 1/1s, whatever.
Yeah, or they're like, I don't know, 5/5 dragons, so that you can actually push the game with them.
Yeah.
Stop giving them effect text. It's confusing.
Crisis in a very bad way.
Yeah. Like, at least the non-creature ones kind of make sense. Treasures are just disposable mana. Clothes are disposable card draw. Food is disposable healing. Those make sense.
Yeah.
And then there's blood, which is sort of simple. It's like, draw a card, then discard a card. You put 1 mana into it. Simple. And then there's Power Stones, which are like, enters tapped. You could tap it for colorless, but you can only use that mana to cast artifact spells.
Right.
Okay. Bit weird.
I picked a good day to try and wrap my head around like sensible design for users, didn't I?
Yeah. I mean, mutagen at least kind of makes sense. It's sack it, put a +1/+1 counter on something, becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Cool.
That makes sense.
Like, do stuff like that isn't weird. Or it's like, if you're going to have to give something effect text, don't give it an effect text which is very, very similar to another token that's already similar to it.
Yeah, it's why I keep getting reminded of like how as daft as it was, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX at least got the archetypes thing right.
Yeah.
Like you knew what the gimmick was
Yeah.
really quickly. It's like, okay. Very little confusion there.
Unless it's roids, in which case you're like, what the heck are these supposed to do?
Yeah, well, there's always an exception.
So that's my.
Seems like designers can't seem to keep it simple when they need to.
I know. Every card game is suffering from. A lot of games at the moment are suffering from what I would call mechanic bloat. Of this constant need to do new things or more powerful. Well, not necessarily more powerful things, but just new things to keep the game interesting. It's just like. There's too much going on. There's too many different things.
Especially if you combine them all in one horrible deck that no one can play.
Yeah.
Too weird.
So we shall move on to our next section, which is our homebrew of the week.
Yeah. There we are. Yeah, it was extreme size, I believe it was. Yeah.
Oh, it was extreme size. Bollocks! I thought it was something else. Never mind.
What have you done?
I thought it was dog equivalent. I made a mistake.
Could be
Whoops.
extremely dog.
Extremely big dog.
Make it extremely big. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll just have to when we get onto dog, I'll just have to flip it around and do the other.
Then I'll probably forget by then too. It'd be really funny. I've done two things. I've done a little and large. It's appropriate.
Oh.
So the first was the blue kobolds. Which, to summarize, it's got basic blue kobold sort of slingers.
Mm-hmm.
The main difference being they have, actual draconic resistances. Make them more distinct. They look a bit more draconic looking.
Yeah.
I think the kobolds should look different. Otherwise, they are all just a blob species of exactly same looking things. I'm not a fan of that. Then I thought, well, they don't really have much in the way of actual fighters, but kobolds tend to be good at traps. So let's have kobolds that are no stronger than the other kobolds, but they're really good at laying traps. Although I did have it as a rule that all the blue kobolds, they're all really good at spotting traps.
Mm-hmm.
But the trappers actually come with 3 small like spike traps and tripwires. So then again, the touchy lead them. I thought there's come up with a shaman or a shaman equivalent. Their entire thing is use lightning damage because that's kind of their thing. And I came up with like a neat little ability that it's sort of like it's a healing spell, but it also, but the target also every actually attacks the target, they take 1d4 like lightning damage. Sort of like like Stardust Crusaders kind of thing. Literally wrapped in lightning for that turn, which is kind of neat. It's a cool little visual. And there's a spell that summons like a gust around the caster. So effectively, it means missile attacks have disadvantage.
Makes sense.
So your squishy, rubbish little kobolds don't die in like 2 turns.
Yeah.
Have a few tricks to get around that a little bit. Then I made a sort of warlord style kobold who is big on ego, but only about as dangerous as a goblin with a short sword because it'll be funny. The whole thing is look heroic, but don't actually be remotely heroic. They have a buff effect. My logic being kobolds are quite gullible and will follow just about anyone with charisma.
Yeah.
They have 16 charisma, so they're pretty out there. Unfortunately, they can't really back it up. But to make sure they actually survive and do something useful, they have a fun little ability where they can, sort of like the goblin chieftains, they can inspire, in massive air quotes, inspire a friendly kobold to swap places with them and take damage instead. And I imagine the kobold's, gullible and very willing to just do that.
Yeah.
So it's all about them being sneaky little buggers and not doing much physical fighting because they kind of suck at it. They should stick to their slings. The other thing I just switched up is I did variants for there is a certain randomly rolled number of them have wings. Some of them are worm touched, which basically gives them a very weak version of a breath weapon. That's force lightning damage. It fits the whole thing. Because I wanted something different than just regular boring kobolds. They're fine, but they don't have really much personality. The goblins at least have that going for them. The kobolds I feel get left out.
Yeah.
So that's the little. As for large, I did take this from Monster Hunter because I'm a big fan of the great monster designs. There's a monster called pronounced Cedus. Cedus. One of those is correct. It's a really cool underwater monster, like a giant whale with like huge horns. And it is enormous. It was one of the end bosses for one of the Wii era Monster Hunter games. It was really solid.
That explains why I haven't heard of it, because I've only been keeping it really with the newer ones.
It had its own theme and all. It's really, really cool. So I did the super special, awesome, advanced version of that. The gold, because Monster Hunter is always about like, yeah, you beat the regular version, but there's a really scarier version that's even worse. To drop the image of it, there he is.
Let me just check Arone. Oh my days!
It's a cool whale, and I kind of like him.
Golden Lab.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, I don't know why, it's like if the Taurus and Aquarius constellations had a baby.
That might be where they were going with it. So I came up with the whole profile for that. So nice. It's like Ender camp really is. We're talking about Ender campaign, high level, CR in the 20s kind of monster.
Yeah,
he's a big lad. But the thing that sets it apart, I think, I mean, it's got all the attacks from the game. It's got slam with its horns or anything it wants, really. Because it's that big. It's got a breath weapon, which is like a stream of water. Close enough to the game. But the thing that I want to really stress the size of this thing is it's the way it's moving counts as an attack.
Oof.
It moving can just push you out the way because you are not going to stop it moving out. If you're medium size,
yeah, you're not stopping this thing from moving.
It's huge. The building is walking towards you, or swimming towards you, whatever. Also, its lair actions, it can summon whirlpools, which are really funny because they can A, they really hurt to be in, and B, they can pull you toward it. So positioning is really, really annoying.
I love effects that affect your movement. Just makes combat more dynamic.
Fourth Edition was obsessed with that. A little too much, but I just thought that made sense for Whirlpool, and it's thematic. It's a big old watery giant whale monster, and I love it. What's the other touch I did to make it a little more interesting? Oh yeah, lair actions. I actually learned how they work. So I put them in. One of them's thematic based on the plant. The others are just kind of neat. One whirlpools appear within 5 miles, and the other main one from the plot, earthquakes happen within 5 miles of its lair.
Ooh.
Because the narrative reason for this, it's not an aggressive beast necessarily.
Yeah.
It's not like a true dragon, where it's outwardly hostile or really that intelligent. Its horns just kind of grow forever, and it lives a very long time. So what ends up happening is when its horns get too big, it needs something to file its horns against. But when it's huge, it decides, this island will do. I'll just rub my horns on the bedrock of this island,
Yeah.
Because it's so big, it causes earthquakes. It has no intention of hurting anyone,
And
really.
presumably because it's doing so on an island, that earthquake generates a tsunami.
Yes, it can do. But yeah, it's just a really fun idea. I think it's a really cool monster. It didn't get enough love, and I thought, what's big and huge and actually interesting? And I thought, oh yeah, the Cedius. So let's give it a stat block. Also, it also helps that it has its own music.
Yeah. So you can jam to its theme while designing it.
A really interesting bit of music. It's sort of like I don't know quite describe it. It's like a very sort of sound like something you'd hear in a ritual.
Oh. Okay.
It's very, very cool, and I love it to death. So I had to give it some love. So we've done different themes, but what's a dog adjacent for you?
So I was thinking like yesterday, what is dog adjacent? And then for some reason my brain remembered you saying something a couple of years ago. Do you remember when we was at the Sea Life Centre?
Yes.
And you mentioned that the seals are a bit like ocean doggos.
Did you make sea dogs?
Kind of. So, annoyingly, seals and sea lions both exist already in 5th edition canon. One is in Icewind Dale, I think other is in Ghost of Saltmarsh. So I decided to do the next best thing and create something that was in between, because the seal is CR0, but the sea lion is some reason CR5. Meaning that if you're a druid, you don't have a very good sea puppet option. So I made one. This is the Aquan Seal. It's a medium elemental beast, unaligned.
Oh.
AC 13, hit points 18, speed 20 feet, swim 40 feet, strength 10, dex 8, because they're, seals. They are not particularly fast.
They're seals.
Con 14, intelligence 3, wisdom 16, charisma 3. Actually, I should probably buff their charisma because they are just sea doggos. Anyway, it's challenge half, so they're not particularly strong, but that's kind of the point, because I wanted to get them less than CR1 so that 4th level druids could at least use them. Because it's like because the swim speed. I think so non-moon druids have a decent seal they can go into. They're resistant to force damage. There's a reason for this, because their force is the closest thing to sort of water damage in D&D. Like most of the water-based spells deal force damage because of literal force.
You could also argue cold because of seals are blubbery. They literally and to deal with that too fast.
Yeah. Force and cold probably also makes sense. I'll add that actually because that does make sense. 60-foot dark vision, passive perception 11. It understands Aquan but can't speak because it's a seal.
They can speak. I've heard them. They like eggs.
Yeah. They can hold their breath for 15 minutes, which is apparently the same as the normal seal one. They have a keen sense of smell. Naturally. They have the deep diver ability, so they do not take damage from high water pressure environments.
Ooh.
And they're also bioluminescent, so they produce blue light from up to 10 feet from itself, meaning it has advantage on stealth checks because it's literally bioluminescent.
Okay.
It gets a bite, which is a slightly better version of the bite that the regular seal does for doing 1d4 plus 1 damage instead of just 1. And it also gets Hose Jet. It's a ranged magic attack because it's part elemental. So plus 5 to hit, 40-foot range, 1 target, just deals 1d8 force damage, basically a cantrip, functions normally underwater. Because it's that same kind of thing. You know, like those snapping shrimp do.
Oh, yes.
So that's why it still works underwater, because it's shooting that water at you with such force that even underwater, it's still just pressure.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's very basic, but it's at least another weird option that 4th level druids could make if they've seen one before, which, to be fair, isn't necessarily too hard because they've probably been domesticated by some wizard or whatever, because sea puppers.
Right. So what would they pick? What would they do in the wild if we just randomly see them?
I think probably in the wild they're probably the type to use they're probably the type to use their like ranged weapon to catch prey. I don't know actually know what does seals eat, like penguins and stuff, don't they? Or was that sea lions? Fish. Yes, they
Fish.
probably like use it to knock out fish just from the sheer force, blow to the head kind of thing, to catch fish from a distance.
There's a thing. There's fish that do that.
Yeah, and because they are sea puppers, they probably also use that same thing to impress nearby humans if they're like on the shore, whatever.
Spray them with water.
Yeah, it's like probably like shoot it straight up into the air and make it kind of rain, sort of.
Or just like harmlessly spray you because it's funny.
Yeah, yeah. And because they're aquan, they are producing that water magically. It's not just that they have water sucked in orifices or whatever. So that's neat.
Make that like you could make them that like a weird problem that species has, is they're too trusting of people. Sometimes seals have that. They get clubbed to death. Them.
And I got like lore-wise that they probably, because if they are native, if they are from the plane of water, they just have water breathing. The ones specifically that are in the plane of water, something about the plane of water itself gives them water breathing. And they hang around water elementals a lot, like they're, like dogs would a master. So, smart thing. Hello, friend.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a small add that you could also add to a water elemental fight that's not terribly dangerous, but is at least thematic. Yeah. A water elemental's best friend.
Do they just sort of decide they're going to be there without the water elemental wanting them? So
yeah. I feel like it's like dogs. It's like, you choose a cat, a dog chooses you.
That's true. But yeah, kind of like them. I don't like seals in general, though.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And for the most part, they do look basically just like normal seals, just with a weird watery effect to them. I like the idea that they might even be like slightly opaque, translucent as well. So it looks like they're like a bottle. It looks like a bottle of water in the shape of a seal.
Okay.
Because they are aquans. They are still beasts. So they still have enough beastness to them. They have the beast type, but they are also elementals.
I think it's not a thing, but in 4th edition they would have called it magical beast.
Yeah, and because they're elementals, it also means that you can summon them via that that lesser summon elemental spell they brought in.
That's cool.
So it has lots of utility for casters, which was the whole point.
The idea of just your party trick is summoning watery seals.
Big. That's why the wizard has like 5 top hats on them at all times. Like, watch this. Summons like 5 seals, puts hats on them.
Everyone's seen the rabbit out the hat trick, but no one's seen the seal out the hat trick.
Yeah, big. But yeah, that's what I did this week. I thought it was cute. So when we do dog adjacent, I'll have to do extreme size instead. I knew this was going to happen at some point, which is why I came prepared with an answer to what happens if one of us mix things up.
Well, these things happen. It's fine.
Yeah. So, talking of wheels, let's spin that wheel.
We have our wheel, yes. So we got Goblin adjacent, Bermuda Triangle, Insectoid. Spinning around Glass Cannon, a Cultist, non-horse mount, and that's that. Yeah,
non-horse mount.
Non-horse mount.
Oh.
That's it. Try to add some more stuff for it. It's fine.
Interesting.
Horse is fun. Cultist. What? You decide.
Cultist. So that's what we're doing. Cultist.
Yes.
Nice. I like culty things.
All right, plenty. That should be decent.
Yeah. So on to our closing thoughts then. for our wrapping
Closing
things up.
thoughts. Yeah. Closing thoughts. In a few weeks' time, there might be a co-stream, depending on things going right there.
Yes. So we have discussed looking at active worlds together.
Yes, I have things to show you in active worlds from the years of between 1998 and 2023.
Wow.
It's a real mix there. But yes, that's coming up.
Awesome. I look forward to that, actually.
Yeah, I like it's a nice thing to have, but I'm not sure if it will be online forever. It's an old thing.
One thing I can also do is I can bring the Lego Island 2 disc for you to have a look at, seeing if you can get it working somehow.
I forget disk drive. Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
The other thing I feel obligated to name drop is
sorry,
is that a very hedgehog-shaped friend of mine is doing a run. It is on the 3rd of May. Very soon. Hetty's up and about again on the 3rd of May.
Wow.
So I can drop in the link on the Discord for the GoFundMe. You don't have to donate. I'm not going to force you at gunpoint, but it'd be really nice if you did. It's all going to a good cause, going to local hospice, and hospices in general kind of got shafted on funding compared to other charities, so they could use the help if you can give and you want to give. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so my closing thought is as I've been doing this podcast, I've been building these German soldiers, which they are World War II soldiers, and for one reason or another, maybe they're just a bit shy about it, they don't have the funny red armbands.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, as much as I'm like, okay, I kind of get that for sensitivity reasons, for like historical accuracy stuff, if someone was actually trying to do a reenactment blinking thing in Lego, or not quite Lego anyway, kind of an important detail?
That's. I think that for me draws a line of I've always been very anti-censorship with stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like reference the bad thing, even if you don't like the bad thing.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. In like Germany, there's examples online of this all the time. German authorities are really quick to censor video games. Same in Australia.
Yes.
Some Arab countries.
Wolfenstein being a key example of that.
Yes, they will censor Hitler and the swastika, even if it's clearly an SS officer or clearly Hitler.
Yeah.
It's just very. The other thing, I'll just find the link to it now. If you haven't seen it, is it Tom and another guy used to do Yolkscast stuff?
Yes.
They have an old series called Games Night that they upload every now and again. They play a lot of tabletop games, and they did Bolt Action, but in Lego.
Ah.
So I'm going to send that link to you, the chat, literally just a second. Because it's a really decent half-hour video. It's a bit like all Bolt Action rules, but it's with little German minifigs, and it's a really fun little thing. I just thought you might like that if you're collecting little German minifigs. Yeah.
Because I got I think it was a couple of quid, but there's 30 of these.
I can believe that.
Which is really good value for money, honestly, if you really want. Again, for stuff like Bolt Action or other tabletop games, having a cheap source of 30 German soldiers with hands so you can replace their weapon with something else if need be is really quite nice, actually. It's a bit of a bugger to get their arms in, but I
suppose once they're in.
Yeah. But it's nice to have them because I've got some American soldiers, World War II ones, but I never had the German ones because they were always out of bloody stock.
Okay.
And the good thing with them is that because of the chin strap things, their heads would, if I'm really struggling, the heads would also work well for Star Wars Rebel soldier heads.
Oh yeah, another one.
Because they only ever did like rebel soldiers like once or twice throughout Lego's history for some blooming reason.
Kind of a weird thing to miss out.
It's like we've had so many different variations of stormtroopers in official Lego capacity, but we rarely ever get the rebel troops. Unless it's specifically the Hoth version. Because they keep
I think it's cheaper than the stormtroopers because you pop the hat bit on the divot bit on the head.
Yeah. Anyway,
maybe there's not a demand for them.
You'd think so. I would still argue, like, yes, there's a lot of character stuff, but like the rebels appear in at least several battles in the series. Like, how are you going to do an accurate representation of the opening scene from A New Hope without rebel soldiers? It don't make sense.
It's a weird one.
They don't even do the blimmin' Endor Salt version of the soldiers that often either, which is again weird because that's a specific subtype, and they do like doing Endor stuff a lot. But they tend to do
they've got
Ewoks, or weirdly enough, the main cast guys that are dressed up in the same rebel garb.
Yes. Yeah,
which again is where having extra heads comes in quite handy. But it's just like,
they have 3 different Han Solos.
Yeah.
One
ridiculous. Anyway, that's my closing thoughts. Just weird, slightly disgruntled Lego-related things. Because again, much like the Rebels, the reason I bought these unofficial ones is because the only other instance of official Lego German soldiers is, of course, the Indiana Jones stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not generally cheap to get, the decent... in good amounts, the German soldiers from... Was it Raiders of the Lost Ark? Was the one that had the German soldiers in? Yeah. Yeah.
Last Crusade.
And I think the latest Indiana Jones stuff was only from the very latest movie, which, to be fair, also includes Nazis. But, like, again, it was mostly focused on the main characters and not, you know, generic bad guys that I can put in a shot. Lego seems to really struggle with extras in general, to be honest.
Yeah, but they've got a whole set for, like, random people on, like, building sites.
Yeah, like a whole city line, but, like, for like, their movie-themed stuff, they're terrible with extras. Of, like, just the minions and stuff. Unless you buy a weirdly specific battle pack. To be fair, like things like I think the Hydra soldiers, they did at least have it be like 2 soldiers and a thing in a small set. So if you wanted multiple of them, at least you're not having to buy a massive set or buy an expensive miniature to get that thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unlike with the German soldier one, which I think one of the sets was their big W-wing plane that had some goons. But most of it's just like natives or indie and a trap or a puzzle thing and Indy and his friends. It's like, bleh.
Yeah, everyone keeps trying to get the short round miniatures.
Yeah. It's like, it's like weird. Even like side characters sometimes are just relegated to massive sets. It's like, here's this massive collector's set. Okay. You need this one character for your diorama? Fuck you, buy this £140 set.
I remember at one point having a Lego Jar Jar Binks minifigure somewhere.
I think the most famous example is Han Solo in Carbonite.
Okay, that's very specific.
Because of course, he would only ever really appear in either a Jabba's Palace set or Cloud 9. Or equivalent. Or, you know... Because those were the 2 locations where having frozen Han Solo makes sense, to be fair. But it's like, if you wanted to build the transporter thing, you know, you wanted to put him in your... I don't... What is it called? Boba 1 now or something? Because we can't say slave anymore.
Yeah, that's always confused me. People that want to talk about slavery, but you can't call a fictitious starship the slave one.
Yeah. don't get that either. But yeah, it's like if you
Very
wanted
strange.
to have that as a little sneaky Easter egg in your like massive UCS scale custom Slave One fighter, you're kind of stuffed. Especially if you want the old version now, which is a brick rather than this thing that has like hinges on it, so it makes it, and it's bulkier. Never mind. Anyway, that's my closing thoughts. I'm gonna stop before I get even further down the proverbial rabbit hole.
Rage will kick in.
At least it's not entirely Wizard of the Coast centered rage for a change. Lego is actually getting some flack for a change.
4 days before you know.
Our rage is rated E for everyone.
These Lego hands are rated E for everyone.
Imagine punch you with Lego hands.
Yeah.
Punch you with weird Lego hands.
Right.
Pincer,
Yeah.
grip.
So let us raid out, I suppose. Let me look at who is available to raid and throw ourselves at the proverbial and say hello to said person. I wonder if someone's playing Glimmin Monster Hunter tonight. That would be
Well, that'd be
topical.
That would be on point.
The stream manager.
Surely Wilds is still somewhat popular.
Yeah, it's relatively recent, isn't it? Okay.
The most recent
These are
one.
my followers.
Or there's Monster Hunter Stories 3.
No one's playing thingy, but we got RoboPrime who's playing Oblivion Remastered. They're finishing off Knights of the Nine tonight, hopefully. So I like Knights of the Nine. It's probably the least popular of the DLCs. We isn't saying a whole lot because it's just got so overshadowed by Shivering Isles. But I still like Knights of the Nine.
Nothing was going to compete with Shivering Isles.
No.
The effort put into it.
Right. See you guys soon. Same Byzantian time, same Byzantian channel. So, our hosts, Kalogistic and Byzantian Dev, wish you goodbye for another week where we will be talking about, I've forgotten already, cults and cultists, etc.
Cultists.
Yeah, culty things. See you guys soon, and remember, don't roll a 1.
Or we will come to your house.
Just, we will look at you disappointedly. See you guys soon.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
all we want.
Yeah. Ah.